Hey everybody, my name is Quintessa with Human 2.0, and today we are doing a full body stretch. You won't really need any equipment. You can have some yoga blocks with you if you'd like, just for certain positions you may want to elevate a bit. Have either a yoga block, a pillow, a rolled up towel, something on hand. So we're going to start at the front of your mat over here. And any position that we're going to be in, we want to keep in mind our posture still and our alignment. We want to create the longest lines that we can. Yes, we will be sort of relaxing into positions, but we still want to keep in mind that we are lengthening our muscles. That is the point of a stretch. So you want to remember, like, the top of your head, the crown of your head should be pulling outwards from your center in whatever position you're in. If you're hanging down, it should still be stretching as far as it can away from your core. If you're standing up, same thing. You'll see what I mean. So we're going to start facing whatever direction you're facing in, just at the edge of your mat. And we're going to lift our hands up, reach towards the sky. Again, like a string is pulling from the top of your head. And we're just going to put our arms down. Again, reach up and down. One more time. Reach up. And I want you to grab one of your wrists, and we're going to step behind and stretch up and over. So if you're grabbing your left wrist, you're stepping your left foot behind, stretching up and over. You want to keep your hips as square as possible here, and your shoulders. You don't want to be caving forward or leaning back. You want it to be a full side body stretch here. Other side. Grab the other wrist, step behind, lean. And in any position you're in stretching, you want to remember to breathe. In any movement, you want to in any movement, you want to remember to breathe, but in stretching, especially where we're relaxing our muscles, your breath is going to be your best friend. On the exhale, you're always going to relax a bit deeper into the stretch. Okay, stand up straight. Now we're going to be leading with our chest here. And we're going to dive down to our forward fold. So folding from the hips, leading with the chest, dive down to our forward fold. And in this position, your knees may be bent, which is okay. You may be only able to reach your shins, which is also okay. What you want to keep in mind, again, is that you are folding from your hips and you are lengthening from the crown of your head. So whatever position you're in, you are still lengthening before you relax. You can relax into the position, but I want you to keep in mind the length before the relax. Now in this position, you can pedal your legs, alternating which leg is straight. Or you can stay still. You can grab alternate elbows and just rock back and forth. Allow your back to decompress. You can shake your head yes. Shake your head no. And remember, allow your elbows to really be heavy here and pull you down. We really want to decompress the back here, as well as obviously stretch out our legs. But yeah, should be good in that position here. We're going to now stretch one leg. Let's say our left first. And reach our left arm to the sky while keeping our right arm planted and our right leg bent. You want to look up to the sky. And in this position, sometimes you can grab the the inside of your hip here and bind your arm if you'd like. You're going to feel a stretch all along the back of your leg. Or you can keep your arm reaching. It's going to get really deep into your calf muscle behind the knee. Okay, switch sides. Bend both legs. Straighten your right, lifting your right arm up. Take the bind if you'd like, or if you want to keep it stretching towards the sky. You want to really reach that arm. Remembering to breathe. Sinking deeper with each exhale. Okay, and back to center. From here, just stretch your legs, straighten both. Take a minute here. Do whatever you'd like. With stretching, I do like to, as much as I do like to, just hold the position and allow, gravity to do its work. I do like to move a bit in my positions just because, yes, like everybody is different. Everyone is tight in different places, the shapes of our bodies. So you really just want to find where you are tight and focus a little more there. And sometimes that requires you just, wiggling through the pose. So from here, we're going to step back into a plank. Familiarize yourself with this position again. Index fingers pointing forward. Fingers spread, pushing through the hands, through the arms, inside of your elbows, looking forward. And again, head, crown of your head, pulling forward. Onto your knees, back into child's pose. In child's pose, you can have your arms flat, your hands flat. You can cup your fingers if you'd like. You just really want to keep in mind that while you are stretching your fingers forward, you're also trying to create space between your ears and your shoulders. You're not trying to, have them crunched up here. You want a long neckline still. Breathe. Okay, we're going to roll forward. So from our tailbone, we're going to roll up, rounding the spine into an upward facing dog. And you really want to feel around where your tailbone or the bottom of your back meets your hips, like that area, you want to just sort of wiggle back and forth, you know, from side to side. You can keep your toes tucked, or you can lay them flat, but I would keep them tucked just because we will be pushing back into child's pose. Just to counter that stretch. Okay, roll yourself up to tabletop. You can lay your feet flat now. We're going to be walking out into puppy pose. So you want to keep your hips, above your knees, and you're just going to walk your arms forward so that your chest is pulling towards the ground. Again, you want to keep the insides of your elbows as forward as possible. And you can either lay your forehead on the ground, or if you're really flexible, put your chin on the ground. You want to notice in this pose if your feet are tensing, you want to keep them relaxed. Just allow your chest to fall towards the ground. Breathe. Really lift your hips towards the sky. Arch your back. All right, good job. Now, just walk yourself back up. We're just gonna do a quick little pit stop in child's pose. It's gonna be our home base for a second. All right, we're gonna roll forward again through upward dog, all the way. Bring our chest onto the ground. I want you to place your arms out into a T. Move your yoga box. Put your forehead on the ground for a second. Just wiggle your hips. Now you're going to take one of your hands, place it beside your rib cage, and use it to push yourself open. And stepping your foot behind. Now in this position, you want to try to keep your hips forward, pushing forward. You don't want to lean back into it. You want to keep your hips pushing forward. You can use this hand obviously as leverage, but you can also use it to push your twist a little further. This is stretching the shoulders, also stretching your spine. And as in any position, breathe. Okay, we're going to go to the other side. So roll back onto your stomach, stretch your other arm out, and push yourself open. You can have your foot on your toes here or flat. Doesn't really matter. Just remember to push your hips forward. And open up through your spine. And we're going to come back onto our stomach. We're going to push ourselves up, tucking our toes. We're going to go into downward dog next. I do want to mention, you have to keep in mind when stretching that your body is naturally flexible. It's only the tension that we carry in our muscles that prevent us from, displaying flexibility. So you just want to, in any position, you want to lock in the proper alignment. You never want to sacrifice your alignment and the posture of your body in order to stretch further. But once you've locked in that alignment, you can really just allow your body to relax into its natural flexibility. That's why breathing is so important. That's why it is somewhat of a meditative experience, because you really just are releasing tension. You're releasing tension, and yes, tension expresses itself physically in your body, but releasing even the rigid idea that, oh, I can't be that flexible. You're naturally flexible. It's releasing the tension in your mind too. So you want to keep that in mind, mind-body connection. So from here, we're going to go into downward dog. Tucking our toes, pushing ourselves up, keeping the inside of our elbows facing forward, pressing through our hands. You want to imagine the palms of your hands are basically cupping the mat, and your fingers are stretching wide. You want to, again, push your hips up while pushing your chest, your sternum towards the mat. And again, you don't want to be pulling your shoulders up towards your ears. You want to still maintain that long neckline. In any position you're in, you want to maintain that long neckline. If your heels can't touch the mat, that's okay. If you need to bend your knees, that's also okay. If you want to pedal out in this position, you can do that. You can also sway your hips from side to side. Good job. Just stay in downward dog for a second. We're going to step our foot forward, so pick a foot. I'm going to step my left foot forward into lunge. We're going to start in a low lunge here. I just want you to familiarize yourself with this position. So just make sure that your knee is above your ankle. Here, yes, you can sometimes, work out with it going beyond that position, but because we'll be focusing mainly on like the hips, the flexibility of the hips here, I just want to keep it at its basic positioning. So once you have this position locked in, you have your hips facing forward. Your hips are square. I want you to just reach your arms up. And again, I want you to clasp them and pull them up. And as you pull your arms up, I want you to imagine sinking deeper into your hips. Good. Really keeping your hips square. If you'd like, you You can put your hands on your butt and just give yourself a little push. Or you can keep them up. But again, shoulders down, neck long, ribs. We don't want them flaring out. We want from your hips to the top of your head to be a straight line. Really focusing on strength or stretching the inner thigh on whatever leg is back. Put your arms down. This is where you can use a block if you have it. You can put something on either side. We're going to push back into a runner's stretch. And if you need to keep your body elevated, then that's why the blocks are here. In this position, we also want to keep this at a 90-degree angle, our back leg. We want to make sure our hips are square in this position. A lot of the time, they'll flare open to the side. They don't often go this way, but I do kind of want you to just swing your hips back and forth here so that you understand how it feels for them to be not square. And then once you sort of get a feeling for that, settle them into being square. You are going to be folded from your hips, and you want to imagine again, lengthening from the top of your head, pulling your chest forward before you stretch. You can relax into the stretch, but I just really want to make sure you have that position down before you allow your upper body to bend. And you can flex your front foot here if you'd like. That will give you a really deep calf stretch and hamstring stretch. But I do like to point mine just because I feel like maybe it's the dancer in me, but it gives me like a stretch along the front of my foot here that I like. So and again, breathe in and lengthen. Exhale and sink deeper. Breathe in, lengthen. Exhale, sink deeper. And you may start with the blocks, and then a few breaths in, you don't need them anymore. You'd be surprised by how limber your body can be with just some deep breathing in any position. Okay, we're going to sit back onto our foot here. For this one, I am going to flex my foot. So again, bending from the hips. I like to put my arms back here just while I get into position and lean as far as I can from my hips before I incorporate my arms, because when I incorporate my arms, we tend to, pull forward, and then end up in pulling forward, we end up curving our back. So I just want to not incorporate my arms until I have leaned as far as I can. And then I can pull my arms forward and bend. You can hold on to your foot, but if you want a little more stability, you can put your hands on either side. And you want to imagine that not only is your chest pulling towards your leg, but your head is pulling past your foot. Nice. Okay, we're going to push ourselves up, back into that lunge for a second. And I just want you to walk your foot out to the edge of your mat with your foot turned out, your toes pointed outwards. Pull your chest forward. This is a lizard lunge. We're going to take our arm, and you can just push that knee out a few times. Again, this is one of the stretches that I do like to move a bit in. I like to feel how it feels to push it out, how it feels to bring it in. I also do like to turn towards this side and then turn outwards. Rotate it internally, then externally. Just feel this stretch working its way all throughout my hip flexors, my inner thighs, my groin area, on both sides, really. Also in this position, you'll see a lot of people like to bring it back here. Do a nice quad stretch. You can do that too. Remember sinking your hips towards the mat. Okay. Now we're just going to walk our foot back in. We're just going to change legs. So however you want to do that. Okay, low lunge on this side. Remember, get the knee above the ankle, firm base of your foot, plant it into the mat, square your hips, and bring yourself up. Stretch your arms up and sink your hips. Hips forward if you'd like. Remember, neck long, shoulders down. Straight line from your hips to the top of your head. Your rib cage is in. Okay, good job. To a runner's stretch. Grab your blocks if you need them. 90-degree angle with the back leg. Stretch your legs out. Chest long. Remember, find the square of your hips before you go into the stretch. You don't want to go into the stretch and then find the alignment. Get the alignment first. Lean. And if you'd like, fold, relax. You want to make sure that you're not leaning, you're not rolling onto the outside of your foot. And in any of these positions, you know, when you're stretching your legs, you may find that your like kneecaps start to like tense up because your quad is tensing. Just whenever you notice that, try to relax the muscle. Okay, we're going to sit back. And you can hold these positions as long as you'd like. You know, I'm trying to not keep you here like for hours, so I'm not, but you can really hold them as long as you'd like. If you want a really deep stretch, hold each one for like a minute or two. All right. So from here, again, I like to lean with my chest first without my hands at all. Find where I can go until, and then bring my hands forward. And you want to remember, again, you're not tucking your chin, not straining your neck. You're lengthening from the crown of your head. Nice. Just relax. Okay, great work, guys. We're just going to come back up, bring our feet together, shake out our legs a bit, Pull your arms as if you're doing a downward dog, but you're not. As if you're doing, I guess, half downward dog. You're not doing the right leg positions. You're just doing a forward fold and stretching your arms forward. Just want to decompress a little bit while pulling my hips up towards the sky. All right. Oof. Roll up, guys. All right, we're going to go into a bit of a straddle series. So, straddle is a very challenging stretch for a lot of people. It's important if you can't sit up straight in your straddle, that you do elevate your hips. So that would be, sitting on a block up here. You want to make sure that you're sitting on the tops of your sits bones. And again, pulling up from the crown of your head, and everything from your tail to your head is straight. So no rounding, none of that. You do also, I like to flex my feet, and I do that because it's a good indicator of, are your legs facing, up? Because a lot of the time when we're bending in the straddle, we'll curl our legs forward, and your toes will show you right here. Like if your feet are pointed, you can't really tell as much, but if you're flexed and your toes are pointing forward, then you know your legs are turning in. You want to keep your toes pointing towards the sky the whole time. So from here, we want to keep both of our sits bones on the ground, but I just want to rotate to one side as much as you can, squaring your hips. I know you can't completely square your hips because one of your hips is turning that way, but as much as you can, squaring your hips towards one of your legs, and we're just going to lean forward. You want to try to keep both sits bones on the ground. And again, you're going to be lengthening. It's all about length. It's all about pulling yourself in one direction while remaining stable and solid at your base, at your core. Remember, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. That's your mantra for any position you're in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. And by release, I mean go deeper. Remember, release the tension from your mind that I can't possibly. You're naturally flexible. All right, we're going to crawl through the center to the other side. You don't want to be curving open. You want to keep it as square as possible. You don't want to lean back onto your hips too. You want to keep them. Keep yourself, pushing forward onto your sits bones. Okay, now we're going to crawl our way back to the center. Whatever position you're at. If you're up here, that's okay. If you're down here, that's okay. Just take it to wherever you can take it to with a flat back. Pulling from the crown of your head. Then I just want you to, whatever you're comfortable with, take a few steps with your hand forward. Take a few steps with your hands forward. We have a tendency to tense up around our hips here. When you notice that, just breathe through that. Now, I just want to take a few more breaths, just relaxing in this position. Wherever you're at, just allow your upper body to hang. And just feel that deep inner thigh stretch. Make sure your knees are pointed towards the sky and your feet are pointed towards the sky. All right. Just do one more stretch for me. Stretch forward. Reach your fingers just a little further. Remember, keeping your neck long and your shoulders down. You don't want to be doing this. Good. Just walk forward. Good job, guys. The straddle is a very challenging stretch, like I said. We're going to do frog next, which is equally fun, you know. You can just cross your feet under and shoot your legs back. We want everything to be at a 90 degree angles to start. So, you know, your foot, your ankle to your knee, and then your knees to your hips. We just want to pull our chest forward. Don't flare your ribs here again. Keep your ribs in, pushing through the ground, keeping your neck long, pulling your chest forward, and sinking into this position. Now, if you'd like, this is another position that I do like to do a little bit of a rock in. I like to rock forward and back. Be very careful though in this position if you are going to move. You know, don't move too fast. If you're stretching, you don't want to move too fast. You know, really take your time with it. You don't want to pull a muscle. Your body is already like, oh my gosh, are you doing the frog position? That's a hard position. So if you start moving really fast in that position, you might like shock it to the point where it is like, okay, I'm going to seize up now. You're going to pull a muscle. So just take your time, relax. Sometimes I like to bend my hands, push back a little bit and bend my hands. You know, make it a workout, do some push-ups. No, but seriously, I do like to sometimes bend and get really deep into it. You can also go on your elbows. You know, kind of rock side to side here. Nice. All right. Just gonna come out of that position. So however you'd like to come out of that position. Whew. That went deep. Okay. We're gonna sit back onto our bum and go into a butterfly position. So this is another one that you may want to elevate your hips, because you want to make sure that you are one line from your hips to your crown. You're going to pull your chest. You can use your hands here to sort of leverage, pull your chest forward a bit. But don't flare your ribs. Keep them tucked in. Pull your chest through. You sort of want to imagine your elbows pulling, like tucking in to your sides to give you space through your neck, from your shoulders to your head. And we're just going to flutter. This is a good position to see if your hips are like out of balance, if one is way tighter than the other, because you will definitely feel it in this position. It will be pretty clear to you because your butterfly may start looking like this, So yeah, you'll really be able to feel and get a sense of where your hips are tight in this position. All right. Now we're just going to use palms of our hands and we're just going to push our knees forward as push our knees down as we lean our chest forward. We're not curling yet, not curving our back yet. We're just pulling our chest through. Breathe in, push a little deeper. Breathe in and push a little deeper. Okay. Now, we're just gonna pull a little further. So, use your feet to pull you forward. And then we are going to allow ourselves to hang. In this position, you can put your arms forward, but if you are going to put your arms forward, I would almost like you to think of like using your elbows as weights to pull your chest down, because we really don't want rounding in this position. We really want it to be as long as possible. So if you are going to put your arms forward, just put them out and then allow your elbows to sort of pull you down. Good work. Okay. Yourself back up. We're going to do a little bit of upper body now. So cross your legs or put one foot in front of the other. Whatever allows you to sit up straight. We're just going to stretch out our arms to the sides. And again, really pull ourselves up, pulling our shoulders down, creating a long neckline. And we're just going to tip our ear to one side. You don't want to pull your shoulder up. You want to bring your ear down. You can use your hand to sort of guide you a little bit deeper. And you can also use this arm, just sort of move it around. You can move it front and back a little bit, just really feeling where you're sticky. You can even put the back of your hand on the small of your back. So yeah, you can roll this wrist if you'd like. Just really feel it out. You can sort of pull on the back of your head, pulling it down towards your armpit. Again, keeping your upper body straight. Just bending from the head, bending from the neck. And again, same thing. You just really want to reach. You can use the palm of your hand, heel of the palm of your hand, and just reach. Nice. Okay, other side. So if you'd like, you can use your arm to guide your head over. You can keep your hand on the floor or move it around, or just keep it reaching. From the back. And yes, this is a neck stretch, but you're going to feel it all in your back, your upper back, your shoulder. Nice. Bring it up. Just going to do a little bit of shoulder rolls. Back. You know, bringing them all the way around. Forward, up, back, down. And then forward. Really feel that when they pull down, the length of your neck. I keep saying that, but it's very important. Like you're pulling up from the top of your head and keeping your shoulders down. Now, we're just going to do a quick arm stretch. So, cross one over. You really want to, you can hold at your wrist or at your elbow. You don't want to round in this position either. You want to make sure that your back is straight, your chest is up. Other side. Okay. Tricep stretch. So you're going to grab one of your elbows. You just want to, the arm that's going back, you want to try to reach like the middle of your upper back. And you want to use the other arm to sort of push your elbow back. You want to try not to let your ribs flare open in this. You know, if you're really flexible, you can take this arm and try to hook your arms together. I don't know if you can see it. Switch. I want a little bit of rotation before we move to the other side. Actually, just rotate your arms. Nice. Pulling this arm up, touching the middle of your upper back, and using this one to pull it back. You can also incorporate some side body into this if you'd like, by leaning to the side. Or again, like I said, you can bind your hands. You want to make sure not to raise your shoulders. Keep your neck long. Nice. And every breath that you take in a position where you're sitting up, right? I really want you to imagine, again, breathing in and extending, lengthening. And when you breathe out, when you exhale, like your core is sucking everything into the ground. Like I really want you to, while you're trying to still lengthen from the top of your head, you breathe, inhale, and then your core is sucking everything into the ground while your head is pulling into the sky. Really lengthen your back. Nice. All right. Maybe just do a few more shoulder rolls. We're going to finish off with some stretches on your back. So just turn to the length of your mat. Before we go into our back, though, I do want to do just one more stretch in this position. So just a quick forward fold in this position. What I want you to think about here, whether you have your legs bent or straight, is again, folding from the hip, pulling from the chest. And one thing I like to do in this stretch, because this is just kind of a basic stretch, everyone does it, everyone knows it. But one thing I do like to do in it is cross my hand over to the opposite leg and really get in to the side of that back. And again, if you're grabbing here, it's okay. It's just really just about lengthening the side of your back. You want to, if you can, grab your foot, like push through your heel to pull your arm forward. And to the other side. Again, maybe even bend your foot to really grab onto it, and then push through your heel. Okay, we're going to come up from that position. Just shift your hips a bit forward, and we're just going to roll down onto our mat here. Okay. Extend your legs and just reach overhead here. Reaching your legs and your arms in both directions here. All right. Curl into a ball here. We're just going to rock side to side for a second. And I'm going to go into a child's pose. So you're going to grab the outside of your feet or your big toes with your 2 fingers. And you're going to pull, again, your hips down towards the mat. You want to be as flat as possible on the mat. You want to pull your arms towards the mat as well. Like your elbows are pulling towards the mat. And your chest is reaching forward. Your neck is long. And your tailbone is reaching down towards the bottom of your, or towards the wall and towards the mat. You can rock in this position, you know, or you can just stay and breathe. You really want to think about pulling your chest through while pulling your knees towards the floor. What is it? Did I say child's pose? Oh wait, sorry, happy baby pose. I don't know if I said child's pose, but sort of the same idea, you know. All right, you're gonna bring the soles of your feet together. Just let your knees fall to either side. You can rest your arms along the side. You can also, you know, decompress your spine a bit just by giving a gentle push to the tops of your hips. But just let your knees fall. Breathe. Okay, just gonna bring our knees together quickly. Cross one leg over at the ankle. And you're going to lift it to a tabletop position. You're going to focus on pushing this knee out, like back, while pulling this leg towards your chest. This is a great glute stretch, a great glute stretch. Just going to place it down. And now you're going to allow this top leg, the heel, to just drop to the floor. You can put your arms in goal post position if you'd like. And you can look in the opposite direction as well. You want to remember, you're still pushing your knee back. You don't want to let it fall in right now. We're just going to head over to the other side now. So bring yourself back in, cross the other leg over, ankle over the knee. And we're just going to lift it up to tabletop, pull it towards our chest while pushing this knee back. Okay, we're going to do a twist. So allow this heel to drop towards the floor, keeping the knee pushing back. Goal post arms, and just turn your head towards the opposite shoulder. Breathe and allow that spine to just twist. Okay, you're going to come back into center now. Put both feet on the ground. And we're just going to extend our legs. Do a few breaths here. You guys did amazing. So take this moment to really appreciate all of your hard work. Appreciate your body. And appreciate your breath. Allow yourself to completely relax. Allow the tension to melt away from your face. If your mouth open, surrender into your mat. Okay. Push yourself up. And there you have it. There's your stretch. I hope you guys are feeling limber. I hope you're feeling relaxed. I hope you're feeling, ready to take on your day or rest. And yeah, we just want to thank you for joining us at Human 2.0, and